could be at danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie TRAITOR Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Leftists are losing their mind that Trump went off against a traitor. They can't even understand it. They're like, oh my gosh, but this person says they're on your side. You're supposed to suck up to everyone. You're not supposed to cut off people that betray you. Betrayal is part of politics. But Trump doesn't actually believe in that, and neither do I, for the record. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a character that has pissed off everyone. People on the left hate her, people on the right hate her. Some people support her, specifically, in my opinion, if they're retarded. I think she's a huge fraud. I'm gonna prove it in this video. I've said this for a while, but I've decided to dedicate a full video to my opinion. This is pretty awesome. Now, a lot of people think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is based because she's anti-Israel. I think she's a fraud, and it has nothing to do with Israel. I think she went on the Israel route because she wanted to be in opposition to Trump. She entirely built her entire campaign over saying, I am pro-America, I am pro-Trump, and then she goes out and directly disagrees, fights, and betrays him on every possible step of the way in order for her to build a base of right-wing guys that don't like Trump. So Trump's pro-Israel, she's anti-Israel. Trump wanted Iran to not have nukes to kill us. She decides she is going to support Iran getting nukes. All right? Trump is trying to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. She says that Russia is correct in their war and Ukraine is full of Nazis. This is every possible step of the way. So she, Marjorie TRAITOR Greene, as she's been called by the president, is an actual Trump derangement syndrome Karen, while LARPing as a Trump supporter. So this is absolutely diabolical. All right, we are doing the breakdown. I'm sure this is going to piss off a lot of people because she has a lot of support. I don't care. If you watch my videos, you will know that I don't care if you agree with me. I say what I think, and you have every right to be for or against it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you might remember her from having some pretty wild takes in the past. For example, she said that there were Jewish space lasers that you know, the Jews were using to zap shit and light fires and you know, obliterate their enemies with the Jewish space lasers. She is the actual, she is the progenitor of the Jewish space lasers conspiracy theory. She is the one that popularized the Jewish space lasers to the point that they even made fun of her in The Boys, like with the Jewish space lasers thing. You might also remember her for saying that the Jews control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say that it can't be done. And the community note is like, yeah, no, the Jews aren't making hurricanes. So to be honest, she is completely right about this one. The Jews do control the weather. This is a true fact. As a Jew that controls the weather, I can confirm, Marjorie, you were right on this one. The lasers, that's still in development. But the weather, that's old news. We've been controlling the weather for a very long time. So this is her. So, you know, Jews control the weather. Jews made space lasers. She's one of those. She's one of those. Get ready for the Candace Owens interview coming soon. And Donald Trump made this tweet. This is from 2024. All right, I want to make this clear. This is from 2024. I absolutely love Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's got spirit. She's got fight. I believe she'll be around and on our side for a long time to come. Epic foreshadowing. However, right now, Republicans have been fighting the radical left Democrats and all the damage they've done to our country. True. With a majority of one, a short lead growing to 3 or 4, we're not in the position to be on a motion to vacate. At some point, we very well may be, but this is not the time. We are leading in the presidential polls by a lot, both nationally and in the swing states. Spoilers, he won the swing states. Likewise, we are doing well in the Senate, and I believe it will do well in the House. But if we show disunity, which will be portrayed as chaos, it will be negative affect everything. Mike Johnson is a good man who's trying very hard. I also wish things were done over the last period of 2 months, but that will get them done together. It is my request that Republicans vote on the motion to table. We will win big, and it will be soon, because Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to get Mike Johnson removed. She pushed this bill, and she ended up getting obliterated. In the Senate, it was like 350 to 50 or something terrible like that. Like, she got annihilated, pushing this bill to get this guy fired, and it was against everybody. So Trump he was like, yeah, she's got spirit. We like her. We like her. We like her, I guess. Well, anyway, everything changed, because this is what Trump posted today. Now, I'm going to prove to you that she's a fraud. I'm not just going to, like, quote some random conspiracy theories. I'm going to prove to you that she is a fraud. But he decided to drop a nuke today. Again, I give you full right to disagree with me. That's what we do here on this channel. I'm all for the open-minded debate, but I am all for Democrats losing their mind that Trump decided to stab her in the back and then she went running to Fox News. I'm sorry, to CNN. I think it's insane. If you're not familiar with this saga, lock in. It's insane. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports, transgender for everybody, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world, as opposed to being the laughingstock that we were 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the USA, and having the most hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country 12 months ago, and so much more. All I see is a wacky Marjorie complain, complain, complain. Women, am I right, guys? You didn't want to say that part, but I'll just go out there. Women, am I right? Absolutely diabolical. Oh, it seems it all began when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for Senate or governor when she was 12% and didn't have a chance, unless of course she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She had told many people that she is upset that I didn't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 counties, and an otherwise normal life to lead, yeah sure, I take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that the wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, and they are too fed up with her and her antics. If the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View. Now, for those of you that are unaware, this bitch did an actual generational run on radical leftist media shitting on Trump while claiming she's a Trump supporter. You have to note what we're dealing with, okay? She's out there saying, I am pro-Trump, I am pro-America. And then she does a circuit on the radical left shows. Every single one of them that's pro-abortion, pro-all that shit, and she claims to be against all of that. Is wild. With their low IQ Republican-hating anchors, thank you for your attention to this matter, make America great again. She went on The View? Yeah, she went on The View. I'll show you a clip of that. But, like, if you actually look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you actually look at her, like, and you look at her bio, like, it's unreal. Proud American. All right. 100% pro-life. She's on every single leftist show that wants to murder babies. Pro-gun. She's on every single leftist show that wants to take your guns. Pro-Trump. It's still in her bio. And meanwhile, she's LARPing as a pro-Trump, America-only person that is literally going on a generational run of radical leftist media. All right. You have to understand what we're dealing with, man. All right. She's always been a fraud. She has always been a fraud. And you're going to see why today. So first and foremost, I think it's super important to know, before I show you the actual response that she makes, Trump sarcastically questions Marjorie Taylor Greene's net worth jumped from $700,000 to $25 million. It's a pretty good question. President Trump posted on Truth Social on November 15th today, sarcastically highlighting Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's reported net worth increase from $700,000 upon entering Congress in 2021 to $25 million today. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Marjorie Taylor Greene made $24.3 million in 4 years on a salary of $174,000 a year. Is that not insane? Is that not like absolute insanity? Amid ongoing debates over congressional stock trading, financial disclosures reveal Greene's pre-trade offsets, including family business stakes to real estate, estimated $11 million to $51 million, grew to $12 million and $38 million through market gains, over 450 stock trades, and book royalties exceeding her $174,000 a year salary. While Greene denies insider trading allegations, I personally don't believe her, tied to timely purchases like Palantir shares. She bought Palantir right before it became a government enforcement arm. Shares before a major contract. The scrutiny underscores bipartisan calls for banning lawmaker stock trading. Insanity. This is, she went to the Nancy Pelosi School of Insider Trading, and she made a fuck ton of money. Yeah, but she denies it. She's America first, ladies and gentlemen. She's out there fighting for Americans. As you can see, Marjorie Taylor Greene stock trades since 2021 turned 700,000 into 25 million. My incredibly hot take is she's a fraud. And she should absolutely be investigated for this, as should everyone. I think all these people in Congress, for the record, this isn't like a Republican issue. This is a universal issue. It's a Nancy Pelosi issue. All these people need to get obliterated. We're out here doing our darndest, trying to afford a house in America and the economy of today. You have these fucking infinite politicians making infinite money, all right, through cringe bullshit in the government. It's insane. Anyway, this was Marjorie Taylor Greene's response. That Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all. But I did send these text messages today. Apparently this is what sent him over the edge. For the record, this was proven a lie. Apparently she did call Trump's private phone, his cell phone, even though she didn't directly call the White House phone. The Epstein files. That's right. Marjorie Taylor Greene was essentially going on a generational run of radical leftist news shows alleging Trump is a pedophile. I wonder why Trump is upset. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example and scare all the other Republicans before the next week's vote to release the Epstein files. This is literally not true. This is literally a lie. You literally went after it. You called him a pedophile for the last 6 months. Okay? You called him a pedophile for 6 months. And he's like, yeah, I actually had enough of this shit. Like, no, duh. Are you kidding me? It's astonishing how hard she's fighting to try and stop the Epstein files from coming out, that he actually goes to this level. Again, trying to be like, he's a pedophile. For the record, I think that Trump handling the Epstein files is insane. I think that Trump absolutely should have released the Epstein files immediately. I want it all out. I want to make this clear. While on this nuance, I do agree with Marjorie TRAITOR Greene that I want the Epstein files out. The reality is, there is an entire situation where essentially 1,000 leftists ended up getting implicated with this. All right, we got Bill Clinton implicated, you got Obama get implicated, you got a generational run of leftist pedophiles getting implicated with the Epstein shit. And she's like, Trump? We gotta figure this out with Trump. Anyway, but really, most Americans wish you would fight this hard to help forgotten men and women of America, or fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke, trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever reaching the American dream. That's what I voted for. Bro, this dude stopped 8 wars, man. He's not the pro-war guy. It's insane. But she knows how to talk to the American people, that's for sure. I have supported President Trump with too much of my precious time, too much of my own money, and fought harder for him than almost any other Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. I worship God. Jesus is my savior, and I serve the district of GI-14, the American people. I remain the same as I've always been and continue to pray that this administration will come successful for the American people, desperately deserve for me, our main America first, America only. My own money, she says. All right, so again, this is like a virtue signal tweet, and you're gonna see what she does. So then she decides to leak DMs with the president of the United States. So she messages Trump, check the flight logs of Epstein's plane, Bill Clinton's 26 times, Hillary too. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but also because we believe the Democrat bad guys like the Clintons were entangled and involved with them. Epstein was the spider that wove in the deep state. Lean into it, she tells Trump. Lean into it. Trump responds, the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And she leaks this message. She leaks DMs with the president of the United States. And that's where we're at. A politician grifter. That's where we at. No surprise. So then she decides to make a follow-up tweet to that one. I am now being contacted by private security firms with warning for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world. The man I supported and helped get elected. Aggressive rhetoric attack me has historically led to death threats. Oh no! Death threats! You called Trump a pedophile for 6 months. Death threats! And multiple convictions of men who are radicalized by the same type of rhetoric being directed at me now. This time the president of the United States. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. And like a lot of the other covert feminists that make believe that they're secretly conservative, she falls back on the men bad tactic. You see this every single time. You see this every single fucking time. Boo-hoo, cry about it. What, is Trump not allowed to criticize you for stabbing him in the back? Like, I'm getting death threats now because he called me out. Oh my God, you unbelievable victim bitch. This is crazy. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. This is like this is cheap whore mentality. It's insane. It's insane. I now have a small understanding of the fear and pressure the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal might feel. Apparently, Trump tweeting, yo, you stabbing me in the back, you crazy, is the same as Jeffrey Epstein raping children. All right, apparently that's on the same playing field. All right, I get death threats are not okay. Obviously death threats are bad, but it's not Trump's fault. Okay, I get death threats every single day. All right, I'm sure Marjorie TRAITOR Greene gets a lot more than I do. I get death threats every day. All right, but like, come on, dude. As a Republican who overwhelmingly votes for President Trump's bills on agenda, this is not necessarily true. She votes against a lot of them. His aggression against me, which fuels the venomous nature of his radical internet trolls, many of whom are paid. This is complete shocking to everyone, except not to me. She went on every single leftist news site of all time. I take threats from very seriously. I'm conservative, but also men are bad. My phone is blowing up with a constant amazing support. I'm so thankful. The political industrial complex and the violent nature of American politics must end. Our country is worth saving, and it can be done if we pull together and save ourselves. Well, get ready for a generational media run. So this was a shock. RT.com. This is Russia Today. Russian state media released videos of women saying Trump ditched for viral Marjorie TRAITOR Greene code America First. Russia is posting how they stand, videos of women saying they stand with Marjorie Taylor Greene. This definitely looks a little suspicious as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, it really does. It really does seem a little bit weird. Now, let me introduce to you why Marjorie Taylor Greene is a complete fraud. And I brought up like a whole lot of old clips. She's not America first. I want to make this clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not America first. If she was, I would respect her more. But she's not. She's LARPing as America first. She's a fraud. She's Marjorie Taylor Greene first. She's herself first. All right? Get ready for this one. So this is her talking about how she wants to end H-1B visas. Now, you might remember that Donald Trump said recently he wants to keep H-1B visas in the United States. I personally disagree with Donald Trump. I think that we need to completely overhaul the H-1B visa system. The H-1B visas are essentially designed so that you can give expert workers from other nations visas to come into America and work here in America. Now, in theory, it's good. You get pros and experts, doctors and engineers, but that's only in theory. In practice, that's not how it works. And we end up importing retards that we can hire for cheap labor from other countries. So the H-1B visa system is a giant fraud, and I think that Trump made a huge mistake by supporting the H-1B visas. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I actually agree with her here. All right, this is her coming out against Trump's H-1B visas, but this is just another example of her constantly going counter to what Trump says, and I'll show you in a second why she's a giant hypocrite. All right, so this is Marjorie Taylor Greene saying something that I actually agree with in a vacuum. All right, I want to make this clear. I agree with her in a vacuum that she's against the H-1B visas.
My dear fellow Americans, I'm introducing a bill to completely eliminate the H-1B visa program, which has been riddled with fraud and abuse and has been displacing American workers for decades. There will only be one exemption in my bill, and it will allow for a $10,000 per year cap on visas issued to medical professionals like doctors and nurses who provide life-saving care to Americans. However, even this $10,000 per year cap will be phased out over 10 years to allow us time to build our own pipeline of American doctors and physicians. Wow. My bill will also restore the original intent of the visa, for it to be temporary. These visas were intended to fulfill a specialty occupational need at a given time.
That's what it should be used for.
People should not be allowed to come and live here forever.
I agree.
We thank them for their expertise, but we also wish them well so they may return to their home country. My bill will take away the pathway to citizenship, forcing visa holders to return home when their visa expires. In order to build our pipeline of American doctors and medical professionals, my bill will also prohibit Medicare-funded residency programs from admitting non-citizen medical students into their programs.
She's right.
Just last year alone, there were over 9,000 doctors in the U.S. who graduated from medical school but were left without a residency placement.
True.
Meanwhile,
that's insane.
In 2023 alone, there were over 5,000 foreign-born doctors who received residency spots.
That's right. We should not be giving our residency spots to foreigners when we literally have Americans that can't get those residency spots. She's completely correct.
This is entirely unfair, and it's America last. My bill will help mitigate the shortage of doctors and nurses in our country, the shortage that we face, while at the same time serve as an off-ramp from our reliance on foreign workers by allowing us time to fill our residency programs with American doctors. Now, this will completely end the H-1B visa program in all other sectors in the job force and in the workforce.
That's right. Give our jobs to Americans over importing people that do it for cheaper. 100%. She's completely correct here. In my opinion, I completely agree with her.
This is America first. It's time to put American citizens first instead of foreigners first. And this has gone on, and this has been an abuse for far too long. Americans deserve a future. They deserve a chance. And I believe Americans are the most talented people in the world, the most creative, and I want them to have their American dream.
Damn. So she was spitting here. I actually agree with basically her entire sentiment. I actually think that she's more correct than Trump on this one. In regards to, obliterating the H-1B visa program. I agree. Now, she released this video right after Trump said she wanted H-1B visas, and she makes this video saying we shouldn't do it, we should ban it, and I actually agree with her on policy more than Trump. Even though she did it at a time literally to go after him when Trump was getting dogpiled, she decided to jump on the dogpile. It made me think that, well, maybe this is actually a virtue signal. She is just jumping on the dogpile. So maybe she's just virtue signaling. Maybe she is a fraud, even though she's actually saying the correct thing. This dude that looks like a woman is actually kind of spinning here. Now, and then that reminded me of this clip. This is a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene just a month ago.
As a conservative and as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
She's anti-deportations. So she does this entire grandstand dogpile on Trump, talking about how important it is in order for it to, they have to cancel H-1B because we need to give jobs to the American worker. We need to give jobs to the American worker. It's super important to give jobs to the American worker. Anyway, we need to stop deporting illegal invaders because we need their labor.
Right. So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but it's, I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
Marjorie Taylor.
The truth, which is, let's not deport illegals because we could use them for her gigantic contracting business. It would affect her personally.
Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance.
And she is probably running for president next. Pay attention, she will. That's why she's doing this, by the way. That's why she's going against every single Trump policy. She wants the Trump endorsement, which is why she's going out there saying that she's pro-Trump, but she's doing a generational run counter to Trump. Now, personally, JDV48, let's get at it. This is not happening, all right? It's not happening, bro. Especially, look, dude. In the book of Judges, God hand-selected the leaders of the Israelites. They were all men, except for one, all right? If that statistic doesn't mean anything, bro, this bitch be wishy-washy as fuck is what I'm trying to say, all right? Like, you missed me with this entire garbage, all right? Like, so anyway, did she just admit she hires illegal immigrants? Yup. So I want this to be very, very clear, okay? She did this video, which I agree with in a vacuum, that, she's saying that we need to stop the H-1B visas and all that. I actually agree with this. I do, in a vacuum, agree with her that we should stop this. However, super important to note, she doesn't agree with it. In fact, she's anti-deportations as a whole. She's a gigantic fraud, a huge fraud that is literally the most opportunistic bitch I've ever seen in my entire life. She will jump on Trump every possible ability she has to dogpile on him in order, in my opinion, to prop herself up. I mean, you see this video that she posted, it got 6 million views and 80,000 likes. This is her literally dogpiling, introducing this bill to end the H-1B program. However, she literally 1 month earlier advocated for the idea of being against illegal immigrants getting deported. Like, are we on the same page? Like, this is crazy. Now, I agree we should abolish the H-1B system to a large extent. Don't get me wrong. But she's a huge fraud. Now that I've proven, without a shadow of a doubt, that she's a fraud, we have a lot of cooking to do. This is her on The View. All right, this is her on The View. All right, the most radical left, women whining talk show on the internet.
Well, I want to talk about MAGA voters who believed that the president made promises like lowering grocery prices on day one. Right now, grocery prices, inflation is up, soybean and cattle farmers are on the verge of bankruptcy, millions.
You do realize that soybean and, you realize that goes up because it's in other countries that there are deficiencies, right? You realize that it's not only America that affects that. But anyway, that's not the point.
Have lost their food stamps and are about to lose their health care while we're watching $40 billion to bail out Argentina. What is going on?
I don't know. I am so America first. I feel like
I feel like she was programmed with the talking points, and that's the only thing she goes on a leftist tour to parrot the same talking points everywhere she goes.
Live it and breathe it, and that's my district, and that's what people want. They are so tired of their hard-earned tax dollars being sent overseas to foreign wars and foreign aid and foreign causes.
Oh, she's
while
right.
Life in America just becomes more and more unaffordable. We want this money invested at home for our infrastructure, for programs, for our people, and most importantly, for my children's generation and their children and their children and generations to come. And I have to say, that's what I've campaigned on the entire time. Everybody's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. And I'm like, oh no, nothing has changed about me.
You were against deporting illegals, and now you are pro ending H-1B visas. Yeah, you're a fraud.
I am staying absolutely 100% true to the people that voted for me and true to my district. And I am so angry when I drive around my district to all these beautiful little rural small towns. And there's manufacturing plants that are crumbling from decades of lost industry. Small businesses that got shuttered during COVID lockdowns and COVID shutdowns. And you want to know something else, Whippy? So many veterans that went over and had to fight in some war that really had nothing to do with where they were from or their hometown, and their lives and families' lives have been so affected. So for me, I am unapologetically America first, and I'll do anything I can to work hard to
You become a Democrat, Marjorie.
Become a Democrat, the party of war, for the record, in case any of you were keeping track of the amount of wars that started.
I'm not a Democrat.
This is her sitting around a bunch of women that murder their own babies and advise other women to murder their own babies. And she's like, yo, I so am with you, sisters.
I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Both parties bad. Both bad. Both sides bad. Both sides bad. Both sides failed. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're happy. Both sides bad. America first. America first. Meanwhile, Trump is actually collecting trillions of dollars from foreign countries through tariffs and also cutting off unfathomable amounts of bullshit through Doge. I'm America first. Both parties are thing. So here's the thing. Nothing she said is wrong in this clip. True. You have to understand how good she is at her game. She's right. She's right with a lot of what she says because she's got the right talking points programmed. She's just a complete fraud. I want to make this completely clear. I don't disagree with the talking points in a vacuum, right? So this is her on CBS, again, doing the media run about the Epstein files.
Why is this so important to you?
It's for the victims. These women
she got the talking points every time.
Have been waiting, some of them for decades. I talked to several victims that were raped by Jeffrey Epstein back in the 90s. And so this is information that has needed to come out for a very long time, and the American people have demanded it. And so the American people deserve to see transparency from their government. Rich, powerful people should not be protected. That is wrong. And it's a message to victims everywhere, victims of rape, human trafficking, and children who are trapped in terrible situations, that the government will not protect the predators, that we will work hard to protect the victims.
So, Congresswoman, that all sounds reasonable. A lot of people agree with you. And so the question comes to mind, why is GOP leadership and the president himself
the president himself
opposed to letting these files be released? As the Wall Street Journal put it, he looks like he has something to hide, even if he doesn't. So put on your political hat here. Why is he so opposed?
Well, you know, I've talked to many of the women, and the women themselves have said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. And even their attorney said that Donald Trump was the only one that helped them. So I'll just being very honest with you, it's something that I don't understand. I think it's a huge miscalculation. And I truly just stand with the women, and I think they deserve to be the ones that we're fighting for.
Again, I agree with what she's saying, but the caveat is she's doing a media run. Obviously, Trump isn't going to like the media run on every single leftist talk show to do this. You have to understand the context. The context is so important. Right? Marjorie TRAITOR Greene, I'm introducing a bill to ban H-1B visas in all sectors. Also, Marjorie TRAITOR Greene, I think implementing a work visa program would be better than full amnesty. I have never gone back on any of my opinions. I've never gone back on a single thing I've ever said. Ever. So this was her today. Today, after her spat with the president of the United States, she went on CNN immediately. She couldn't stop herself. She immediately goes on to CNN, right? Wild.
I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
She goes on CNN to apologize to the leftists. Wild.
It's very bad for our country, and it's been something I've thought about a lot.
Well, since when? When did you start thinking about it?
Especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
You're sorry for Charlie Kirk's assassination? You're sorry ever since Charlie Kirk was assassinated by leftists, where leftists cheered on the death, you then decided that you need to apologize to leftists? Bro, what are you doing?
Is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions, and I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out...
Yawn! One side is killing the other side. What is this bullshit? Oh my God.
A new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences.
Yeah.
And
we're literally all the same. I mean, all you guys were laughing that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I'm apologizing to you. We are literally the same.
And we need to be able to...
We're all just people. We're all just people. You worship the devil, but we're all just people. Like, dude, this is basically what she's doing, and it's wild to see it. So she did this today. Today. Charlie Kirk's death taught me that Americans, we have so much more in common than differences. If anything, Charlie Kirk's death proved to me that there are some people that we absolutely cannot unite with, and they want us dead. But anyway, I guess we all learned different things from similar instances. But, so yeah, so this was her. This was her on CNN. This was her actual little segment.
I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it is
The reason for this.
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know,
Nux is basically saying the left should die. I have never said that. I don't think the left should die. I just think the left wants us dead. I think that's the difference, actually. But thanks for playing.
Stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations.
True.
And I stand with survivors.
Why did Trump attack you on Twitter? Because I stand with children that were raped. Yup.
Of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
You posted
Yeah, well, to be fair, they should release the files.
on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
All right, good point, good point.
And I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country.
Yawn.
And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was.
Yeah, we saw that already. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Anyway, here is a Pakistani leftist siding with Marjorie TRAITOR Greene. Bro, what are we doing? A Pakistani leftist is quoting Marjorie TRAITOR Greene saying that Nick Fuentes should be on CNN. Bro, like the operation is in full swing. What are we doing? So this is her saying, I can only speak for myself, but as a Christian, forgiveness is a major part of my faith. I'm here to show how it's possible to center all differences and move forward as Americans. That's why I go on CNN and make fun of Trump and support the people that killed Charlie Kirk. So that's what she says. To be fair, I agree. I think they should definitely get Nick Fuentes on CNN. That would be great. I actually think that would be awesome. But anyway, so that's what, this is her. And I never knew this, but this is a diabolical response. Isn't part of being Christian not lying and betraying your friends? Exclusive. Embattled QAnon Congresswoman Marjorie TRAITOR Greene openly cheated on her husband of 25 years with a polyamorous tantric sex guru, and then moved on to another affair with the manager at her gym. So I did not know this before today. And this, honestly, is what pushed me over the edge to make this video. I'll be honest. I'll be real. Before this, I was like, all right, it's interesting. There's twists, there's turns, all right? There's fraud. She's a liar. She's a fraud. She's pro-deportation. She's pro-ending the, H-1B visas, but she's anti-deportation. She's literally counter to Trump on everything. And then this showed up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got our conservative religious goat. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how this got in there. This is just Leviticus 20:10 saying that if a man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and adulteress are put to death. This was, I don't know how this got here. Leviticus 20:10. I don't know how Leviticus 20:10 ended up on my computer. My bad. Oh, sorry. This is Deuteronomy 22:22 that says that if a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. You should purge this evil from Israel. I'm not sure how Deuteronomy 22:22 ended up on my computer either. But anyway, moving on. This is Marjorie TRAITOR Greene saying, wrong. Jesus told his disciples, if you love me, you will obey my commands. Jesus commands us to forgive one another and even our ties to our own forgiveness, to willingness to forgive, as Jesus says in the Lord's Prayer, etc. And this guy says, where did Dana Bash ask you for your forgiveness? Where did any lib who incited death against Charlie Kirk ask for your forgiveness? People are actually freaking out, to be honest. They're freaking out that she went on CNN to apologize to leftists for engaging in this rhetoric when realistically you got the other side killing us and wanting us dead. It's really not a two sides issue here. So on CNN, Marjorie TRAITOR Greene claimed she never spoke to Nick Fuentes. This was today. Anyway, Nick Fuentes disagrees. This is diabolical.
She spoke at my conference, and then the day after, she pretended like she didn't know me. She pretended like she didn't know me and lied and said I had no idea the conference I was speaking at. She knew exactly
what. Yeah. So not only is she a grifter against Trump, but she backstabs everybody. She went to speak at Nick Fuentes' conference and then stabbed him in the back the next day when it turns out he was too controversial. He's too controversial.
It was.
What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I defend every single person's free speech rights. I think that's incredibly important. So I don't apologize for that, and I don't believe in canceling people. And I think it's important for people like Tucker Carlson and yourself to interview everyone. I don't believe in trying to cancel someone by refusing to interview them and question them.
Fair.
And I did speak at his conference back in...
To be honest, I prefer when questions are actually good questions, like as opposed to, hey, I was just wondering, do you like Stalin? Yes? Oh, me too. Not exactly my thing. But like, I prefer the interesting, the epic stuff.
2022. However, I don't know Nick Fuentes. He's someone I've never exchanged text messages with or phone calls, but I did speak at his conference. That was the first time I had met him that day, and that was it.
So
she's like, I never met him. I didn't know him. Well, I met him at the conference. I didn't know him. I never exchanged text messages.
But I did watch the interview. I watched the full interview with Tucker, and I admire him for interviewing many people as well as exposing a lot of powerful information.
I hear what
that
you're
he
saying.
does on his show.
I hear what you're saying about free speech. I mean, count me as guilty as a proponent of free speech. There's free speech, and then there is hate speech. And this is a man...
Oh, the Karening continues! Stop! There's no such thing as hate speech!
And invited on a really prominent conservative show who said, even during that interview, he had a problem with, quote, organized Jewry, and he wasn't challenged on it.
Well, yeah, because Marjorie TRAITOR Greene thinks the Jews have space lasers, okay?
In the past, he has denied the Holocaust, called Adolf Hitler effing cool, talked about the fact that he thought Jim Crow was just fine, and on and on.
And to be honest, I know this is going to hurt a lot of people to hear, he has the right to say all of that stuff. Yeah, that is still protected under freedom of speech. I personally do believe the Holocaust was real, okay? All right, let me make this clear. Right? My grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Their whole family was killed. Their whole towns were wiped out. So personally, I do believe that the Holocaust is real. Nick Fuentes has every right to not believe it. I might think he's retarded because of the overwhelming evidence in that specific area, but of course he has the right to believe it, and he has the right to say it.
So again, there's free speech, and then there's just hateful language and sentiments.
Well, Dana, again, I told you on this interview that I'm committed to ending the toxic politics. And I think I don't want to have any...
Yeah, so anyway, she's going to be a new martyr for toxic politics, going out there, making friends with literally everyone to grift her way to infinite success. But anyway, she wanted to support Kanye West over Trump in 2024. All right? She is an unbelievable liar. It's crazy. Nick says that they knew each other. I've never met Nick Fuentes. I've never met him. I don't even know him actually at all. I don't even know Nick Fuentes. Yeah, so anyway, pro Kanye West, anti-Trump creature makes believe she's pro-Trump, but dude, this is crazy. Trump judge rejects Trump administration request to release the Jeffrey Epstein grand jury documents. It turns out that there really is a both sides here in regards to specifically hiding the Epstein files. While it seems like Marjorie Taylor Greene has been doing a generational run talking about how Trump is hiding the Epstein files, it really kind of seems like, well, first of all, the Democrats hid the Epstein files for the last 4 years. That's first. Second, Trump is actually winning on the Epstein thing right now. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to the stuff that's been getting released. This was a recently leaked email from the Democrats. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. The victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. Now, the victim ended up being Virginia Giuffre, specifically the person that exonerated Trump. Like, you have to recognize the fact that in this email, essentially what Jeffrey Epstein is saying is the dog that hasn't barked, meaning the guy that hasn't raped a kid, potentially, is Trump. The victim, who turns out to be the one person that exonerated Trump, spent hours with him, but they redacted it to make it look like he was guilty, when in reality, he's not guilty. The Democrats then decided to release this. A quote from Jeffrey Epstein saying, "I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump." Dog! Jeffrey Epstein hated Trump, which proves Trump is a really bad guy. Jeffrey Epstein loved Trump, which proves that Trump is a really bad guy. Dude, this isn't working. This isn't working at all.
I tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are, turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel.
There's no way she thinks that it was on behalf of Israel.
We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III.
We're entering World War III!
Because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox.
Well, that didn't happen.
Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers.
Well, none of that happened.
And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
All right, so she knows exactly how it's going to go down. You bomb Iran for Israel, because when they chant death to America, we bombed them for Israel, and then we all die in an endless war. That's what happened. Statue of Liberty wearing a hijab, that's the next step. Oh my god, this was fucking, like, she's crazy. She's crazy! The best thing they actually had on Trump was the fact that Trump might have given Bill Clinton a blowjob. Not illegal, despite being yuck, but not illegal. So, dude, they have nothing on him right now. It's crazy. So, Vance decided to cook. And I agree with him.
On violence. I mean, if you look at the way, in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination, that these guys were justifying it, making excuses for it. Most of them weren't explicitly endorsing it, but all of them would say, well, Charlie Kirk said some controversial things. And I would say, as his friend, so what? You say some controversial things in the United States of America, and that's what you're focused on after a father of 2 young children is murdered in cold blood in the public? It's horrible. And your attitude should be, when something like that happens, I don't care what you said, I don't care what political disagreements were, that was wrong. Murdering somebody is wrong, full stop, no follow-up, no caveats, no hums and ha's. Just have the moral clarity to actually say murdering people who you disagree with is disgusting and wrong. That's how I think fundamentally you end political violence in this country. True. Is you have leaders on both the left and the right who are willing to condemn it.
Except you have leaders on the left that are literally laughing about it constantly.
Any exception. Unfortunately, you've got a lot of people on the far left who are not willing to condemn it without exception. On violence.
Correct. In fact, you have the Attorney General of Virginia right now who literally has text messages talking about how he wants to murder Republicans. He wants to murder Republicans and their little fascist children. That dude was elected by Democrats. So Marjorie Taylor Greene going on CNN to be like, actually, I really want to start making peace and ending the political toxic politics, is retarded. They want you dead. All right. So I want to make this clear. I definitely think that J.D. Vance is the right approach and not uniting with the retards that want to kill you. So Scott Jennings is a CNN guy, but he talked about this a little bit, and he absolutely cooked.
Technically true, based on what I've heard and what I know, that he didn't tell her not to run, but what she didn't say was that he sent her a poll privately, discreetly, and it had information in it, and it showed her down 20 points to John Ossoff. And so in politics, when you want to send a message to someone that you like or that has been an ally, you don't embarrass them publicly. You privately send them information and show them what the reality is. And so
it's a very adult way of handling it. Trump saw the polls were bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene. He told her in private.
I think it's true that he didn't tell her not to run, but it's also true that he did her a big favor, which is to show her information that a candidacy statewide in Georgia for her would have been a disaster.
Congresswoman, thank you for...
That seems like a really nice thing to do. And then she decides to blow it all out in the open. Like a baby. Like a baby. But Scott Jennings kept cooking.
Do you think it started with that political engagement? When they sent her that poll, that's when you start to see everything change. She opposed the president on his Middle East policy, attacking the Houthi rebels, attacking Iran.
For the record, the rebels were attacking American ships. Right, so she's like, I'm America first. I'm sorry, destroying the people that are attacking our boats? That's America first. All right, let's make this clear.
Opposed the president.
Opposing Iran? Iran directly wanted to get nuclear weapons to kill us. They directly chant death to America. She opposed that. That is not America first.
And on deportations this summer.
She opposed deportations, not America first.
So she has sort of become a policy opponent of the president, but I think
this is CNN. They realized that this Marjorie Taylor Greene character, despite saying, I'm America first, I'm pro-Trump, I love Trump, she goes against him every step of the way. You don't touch our boats.
Really all started with that political engagement, and now, you know, she's one of his most frequent critics on some of what I would argue has been his biggest successes this year. And, you know, if you want to count yourself as an ally of the President of the United States, it's not great to go out and run out to The View and other places and crap on him 24 hours a day. I mean, that's essentially what she's become. It's a well-worn path. A lot of other Republicans who've turned on the president have done that too.
But there's a difference.
Do you think it started?
And to be honest, he's right. He's right. You do not oppose him on every single policy, even when it means you're contradicting yourself. She will oppose him. All right? Even when you contradict yourself, you still oppose Trump. You go on a media tour on every radical left show to shit on Trump as much as possible while making believe you're the nice person. You're America first. You say while shitting on everybody. All right, she's backstabbed everyone. She backstabbed Trump. She backstabbed Nick Fuentes. All right? It's not like she has an alliance with Nick Fuentes. She's a complete and utter narcissistic bitch that's going super viral right now by beefing with the president of the United States, in my opinion, gearing up to a 2028 run. But anyway, that is Marjorie Taylor Greene's retard crash out. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I did. I'll see you in the next one. I'm sure that people are going to hate me because they support certain policies of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I think I proved very clearly from this video, I also agree with certain policies of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Doesn't mean she isn't a gigantic grifter fraud. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.